Hi all, it's Near Rambler here with another technical update in saying that unfortunately Tales of Berseria will be postponed for a bit longer than planned. I did receive my controller today at the time of this recording, and it doesn't work. No, it's a third-party Chinese knockoff controller that was very cheap and I thought would be fine, and it doesn't work as it turns out that the way that they allow the controllers to work on a PC, Windows 7 and up, is that they actually emulate some sort of controller identity software that Microsoft puts on their official 360 controllers. They imagine sort of more official third-party controllers as well, in order to communicate with the Xbox 360 controller driver that you can install on your PC. But unfortunately, the emulated identity thing on this controller I've got in my hand right now, it doesn't work. And I've done everything I can to try and get around the problem, but it is impossible from what I have discovered. I have reinstalled the 360 controller drivers. It doesn't work. It plugs in and lights come on and then nothing happens, and then I go into devices and it appears as a controller, which is good, but it appears as an unknown device and it simply just will not communicate with the computer or Windows 7. It just says that there is no known drivers that will make it work. And then when you go to say update drivers or install drivers or search drivers, comes up with nothing, just says it can't find it. I went on the website of the company in question. I won't say their name just for confidentiality reasons, and there's nothing at all. It is just a Chinese knockoff, and it doesn't work, which is a shame because sometimes Chinese knockoff stuff does work, but not this one. So yeah, I still don't have a controller. So the only option I've got now is I did buy this controller with my own money, of course, but I do have a Patreon fund that a certain gentleman and gentlemen's have been contributing to for some time. I am going to use the Patreon fund money to buy another controller. This time I'm going to buy an official 360 controller. I was a bit hesitant in buying one originally because they're getting quite expensive on eBay now, and secondhand ones loose go from 20 quid upwards, and I'm okay with buying a secondhand one. It's just that the build quality is pretty poor when it comes to the connection, the hardwire connection to the controller. That's what caused the other one to die, because the actual controller buttons and configuration were working, but the wire that was hardwired in had fractured and it lost communication and I couldn't fix it. Why don't I use a wireless controller? Well, I did before, but sadly my USB ports on my computer are so worn out now, even with USB port adapters that you can plug in and then use the USB ports off the adapter itself as fresh USB ports that haven't been used, it just doesn't work. The wireless adapter just wobbles around like crazy. It loses contact a lot, even when you've got it in a precarious situation. And at least with the wired situation, it just creates direct contact all the time, and I can secure it in better. It's just easier to use a wired controller than a wireless one with my current hardware setup. I'd have to get a new computer, which I've been saying for ages I'll get, and it just hasn't happened. My priorities have been elsewhere, mostly in the wrong direction. So, like I said, long story short, let's cut this video down a bit. I'm going to order another controller off eBay, but I'm going to use the Patreon fund money to do it. I've got permission to do it, so that's good, because I always said with the Patreon money I'd only ever use it for channel maintenance. I'm going to use the Patreon money to get an official controller. I'll try and get one in as new a condition as possible. Should arrive again sometime this week, even with this current situation going on. Postal service within the UK is working pretty well actually, and my hat's out and hearts out to them. It's okay, so I should be able to get one and get it within a few days, probably by the end of the week, and then I'll plug that one in and it should work, and providing the wire is all good condition and everything, yeah, we should be back up and running with Tales of Berseria. So yeah, so I apologise about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually really annoyed because, like I said, these Xbox 360 controllers are getting expensive now. And again, I could use an Xbox One controller. I don't think it doesn't work very well with Windows 7. I have had one before and have tried it, it is a bit of a faff. I could try that, but I'd rather just stick with what I know and just get that to work instead, just to save time and hassle. So yeah, so I'm really sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the poor update, but I'm keeping you updated. But I'm going to go and do that now, and then when it arrives, we'll try again. So more World of Horror then, or maybe some point and click games. Now, Dark Lord Kaiser said there are plenty point and click games out there. I could always start one of those as a sort of semi-side LP. So if you could recommend any point and click games that will work with my touchpad mouse, doesn't have to work with it specifically, but just works with a touchpad mouse where you can just point and click. Let me know if there's any good ones out there and I can get a copy of it, and we'll play that on top of World of Horror. It can be a horror game, which would be fun, or anything else that would be interesting. So if you could make any recommendations, please do, and I shall hunt it down and see if it'll work. Right, I better go then. So take it easy, have a good one. I hope you're all well. Stay safe in these troubled times, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye for now.